Okay, here's as far as we got while we were both online. So we have Henry, and we've cropped him to 8 by 10, 300 DPI. So now I will once again open. You can't see the drag down menus, but I'm going to File, pull down to New, 8.5 by 11, 300 DPI, white. We have lots of selections here. We can make it any color we want, but we're going to say white. We're going with Adobe RGB because that's what Henry is, and it's the widest color palette, so you might as well start with the best, and we're going to name it Henry. And so this gives us our white canvas, and it's 8.5 by 11. So now we're going to go back to the Henry shot. In the Layers palette, we go to the menu for the Layers palette. You can't see this menu because it's outside the box I chose for the video, but I'm going to hit Duplicate Layer. So Layers palette, Duplicate Layer, and bring it to the background, which I've named as Henry. So now 8 by 10 Henry is in the 8 by 10 background. We'll go to that background. So now you can see the white we created. And if you want to see, since this is white, if you want to see where the top of it is, turn off the eyeball on the background, and you can see transparency. Now, I've determined on my own experimentation that we want to leave a certain amount of room below the picture for the text, and I've determined, now I'm holding down the space bar and the command key, and it lets me zoom in infinitely. I just want to look very closely at the ruler, and I'm setting the base of this at 9¼ inches exactly. Okay, now if I hold down spacebar Option key and click the mouse, I can back up again. I do this quite frequently. And then if I let go of the Option key, so now I'm only holding down the spacebar, it gives me the grabber hand. So spacebar Option, back up, that's good enough. So now we're in the Henry layer, okay? I'm going to do Command T, which is the same as the Edit pull-down menu, Free Transform. So we're in Free Transform. I am going to hold down Shift Option, and that's what I showed you earlier. Shift Option, use my mouse to grab a corner. Now I'm going to hold down the Shift key just to demonstrate. With no Shift key, I can wiggle this all over the place. Okay, Command Z to undo that move. Now if I hold down the Shift key and I'm in the pointer tool, sorry, if I'm in the Shift key, now I can't wiggle it left and right. It goes dead center up. So and now I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and I'm only going to, not the Option 2, I'm going to drag it down to that guideline that I set, and then center it by eye. Okay. I can see in transparency mode, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. I'm good and centered. I'll turn on the white. Oh, sorry. Hit the return key, enter to set that change in size. I'll turn on the white. Command H hides the blue line, and so that's what you've got. That's what I'm going to send you. If you want him larger than that and less space for the type, all you have to do is hit Command T and change the size. Escape. Okay, I'm going to save this as a Photoshop layered document called Henry. And I've set up a folder. I actually have a share folder that has all these little things that we do together. And so here's the headshots. Within the headshots, I've got layered PSDs and source files. So there's your two source files. Nothing in layered PSDs yet, because that's where I'm going to put this. So again, Shift Command Save, meaning save as. I've named it Henry. It's within layered PSDs. Save. So now if I open up the Share Headshot folder, now I have a layered PSD file called Henry. Meanwhile, that file is still open. Okay? I've saved it, but it's still open. And what that means is I still have the hidden blue line. I just hit Command H. If I hit Command H, it's a toggle, on, off, on, off, on, off, on. So now we can go to the girl's picture, source files, the girl. Now the girl's picture, I can see, is not an 8 by 10. So I'm going to see what it looks like. I mean, I like this, and I don't know if you want this or if you want it as an 8 by 10. So I'm going to copy this layer. I'm hitting duplicate layer. You can't quite see that because and I'm going to put it into Henry PSD. Copy. Okay. I'm going to let you see if I hit this, those are the choices I have. So I just did duplicate layer. Now you might want that layer, but you said you wanted 8 by 10s. So I'm going to go to 8 by 10, 300 dpi. And I'll do it as an 8 by 10. I think, yeah, that's not bad. Okay. So return. So now it resized it as an 8 by 10. So now it's the same aspect ratio as the shot of Henry. We'll go to the menu, the layers menu. My screen blacks out sometimes, and it was just blacked out. That's why I paused. Duplicate layer, and we're going to duplicate it to Henry PSD. Henry PSD has become sort of the master file for this whole project. Copy. So now, my screen just blacked out again. If we go back to Henry PSD, we have 4 layers. We've got the white layer, we've got Henry, we've got the girl as an 8 by 10, and the girl uncropped. Okay, so I'm going to take the girl as an 8 by 10, and so the eyeballs we have turned on is girl as 8 by 10 background. While working on the girl as 8 by 10, I'll rename that. Girl as 8 by 10. Okay. So while working on, and this one's a girl as, this isn't exact, but it's about 7 by 10. So I'm ignoring you calling me right now, so I can finish this. So I'm on the girl as 8 by 10, and I have its eyeball turned on. Command T, hold down Shift Option, hold down Shift only. That has kind of an equidistant boundary. Let's compare it to the Henry shot. First I'll hit return to actually do the crop or the resize. Okay, we'll make her the same exact size as Henry. So I'm on the grill as 8 by 10. I am going to pull down guides for the size of the Henry shot. Okay, so that's our Henry shot, and actually I can see the top right there. That's our Henry shot. That's the 8 by 10 of the Henry shot. So now we'll go to girl is 8 by 10, turn off the Henry eyeball. We're working on girl is 8 by 10, and I'm going to hold down I'm going to do Command T, Shift Option. Now all I want to do is make it touch those guides on the left and the right, and then I'll move it upwards. So Shift only to move it straight upwards. There we go. That is the same aspect ratio and positioning. Hit return to keep it. Hit Command H to hide the guides. They're still there. I just hid them. So there's girl as 8 by 10 and there's Henry as 8 by 10. So they are consistent, and to me that is professional, and you have room for text. You can change anything you want with this PSD document. Now we'll go to girl as 7 by 10 in case you want that. I don't think you will now though. Turn it on, turn off Henry. Command T, so it puts us into free transform. Command H, which shows us our guides. And Shift Option as I shrink it. And I'm going to make it fit the top guide and the bottom guide. Return to keep it, manually shifting it a little bit to the left, so there's that one. So you have your choice. I'm going to hide the guides. I'm going to save a new layered PSD and call it 2 Kids. And that's what I'll send you. So, 2 Kids has on it 2 different croppings of the girl, 1 cropping of Henry, and the white background. And you will be adding 2 text files. So this will end up, you'll pick one of the 2 of these and add a text file to it, and a text file to Henry's, and they'll be separate. And so you'll end up with a 6-layer document. So there you go, that's it. I'm going to sign off and send this to you.